Say it right? Close enough?
You got the first one right.
Okay.
That's the hard one.
Yeah. When we asked her to explain Unitarian Universalism, her answer was short and said, "We are a spiritual community connected through shared values, not beliefs. But in reality, there is no short answer to do it justice. Unitarian Universalism, united by values." So Charissa is the current president, and you have to tell that story, so everybody's going to ask about that, about your name. So Unitarian Universalist, she is the president at Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. She's a native Floridian. Her travels have taken her far and wide, and you might have to explain this a little bit too. She called Panama City home since she was a wee lass. She earned her bachelor's degree in communications, which led to a short career in television production, followed by a great escape into the Peace Corps, where she served for 2 years as an English teacher in Mongolia. After the nomad lifestyle took hold for several years, she came back to Bay County, and now she has a house into which she is chained. And I think most of us that live in Bay County very long are probably part of that too. So along the way, Charissa found Unitarian Universalist and joined the local fellowship in 2010. Since then, she's been active member in leading Sunday school services, social justice events, meditation courses, social events, and on and on and on, multiple offices. So again, it's her talk title today is Unitarian Universalism, United by Values. So let's give Charissa a warm welcome. Charissa.
Thank you. I think what he was talking about was my name is obviously a little difficult to pronounce sometimes, especially because it's spelled wrong. It's spelled with a CH, but it's pronounced with an SH. So it's Charissa, like, sure is nice to meet you. Charissa. And sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. But good morning. And thank you for having us. Sorry, it's been a long time since I had a lavalier on. So in my early 30s, I had the opportunity to spend a year in New York City, right smack dab in the middle of Manhattan. And as amazing as that was, an even greater joy for me was that one of my very best friends from college, my college roommate, was living just outside of Washington, D.C. in Fairfax, Virginia. And what was such a delight about this was because we both went to college in New Mexico. And since then, I had mostly been back in Florida, and she had mostly been in Virginia. So to be this close and to be able to visit often was a real treat. Now, Aaron and I both had been on very similar paths, moving away from the childhood religions that we grew up in, hers being Catholicism and mine being United Methodist. But on one of my trips down to visit, she shared that she had planned for us to go to church. And I was a little surprised. But she was very excited. She was very excited to share this church, I do a lot of air quotes, new church that she had found, and share with me this Unitarian Universalism congregation, of which I had never heard of. And at first, I was a little leery, as I had long lost interest in going to anything that I knew of as a church. But she was excited and she was really into it, so I was curious. And so we went. And wow. It was a huge mental shift for me in the way that I saw religion. Actually, it was a reframing of the whole idea into an open path of spirituality surrounded by an open-minded community, compared to the rigid dogma and rules of the religion I grew up in. I mean, not that United Methodists are the most rigid Christianity, but still. I'll never forget those first few steps into that UU in Fairfax. the event calendar was hanging on the wall as you entered the building, which is a prime location, by the way, right? Because everybody has to pass it as you walk through and come into the sanctuary. And this was the moment, actually, that small flicker of our chalice light began in my heart. Because what I read on the coming weeks of the events went something like this. Monday, Tai Chi. Oh, okay. Tuesday, Bible study. Okay. Wednesday, meditation group. All right. Thursday, pagan ritual. Whatever the heck that was, because at the time I had no idea. Friday, humanist teachings. And I was stunned, because it went on and on and on after that, one different spiritual practice after another. For me, it was a real eureka moment, because growing up in the South, you were either a Christian or a heathen, right? There was really not a whole lot in between, or at least that I was taught. Which also was a difficult aspect for somebody leaving Christianity, coping with the idea that I was a heathen. And when I think about growing up in the church, the aspect I really enjoyed was the community, the support, the safety, the belonging. I did miss that. But on this Sunday, I found a church that would honor my personal beliefs, or lack thereof, and still welcome me into a beloved community. It was an idea that I had never dreamed existed. Eventually, I moved back to Panama City. I found the UU Fellowship of Bay County, and I have called it home ever since. So the opportunity to come and share our spiritual home, our version of religious faith, is an honor, and I thank you for having us, because it never happens. Nobody ever invites us anywhere. So, what is Unitarian Universalism? Let me tell you, it's not an easy answer. Like Reverend Ron said, my one-sentence elevator speech is usually, we are a community, a spiritual community that is connected through shared values, not shared beliefs. To paraphrase the words from our pocket guide to the UU, which I believe Reverend Ron has a copy of here somewhere, you'll find ordained and lay people, the certain and the seeking, the lifers and the newcomers, the beloved and the brokenhearted, the insiders and the rejected, all finding community within Unitarian Universalism. Not for the dogma, because UU is not attached to particular religious beliefs. Rather, it is committed to specific work, striking a balance between the openness of differing viewpoints on one hand and the fierce advocacy for shared ethical claims on the other. Ours is a rich, complex, imperfect, living collective, striving to build a diverse and supportive community. And if we can do the video. I have a short little video, and then I'll continue talking.
We are Unitarian Universalists. We are people of many paths who are brave, curious, and compassionate thinkers and doers. Every day, people are inundated with information, overwhelmed by demands, and pulled by a culture that seeks to divide us from the web of life. Unitarian Universalism reconnects, bringing people together with meaning and inspiration. We are a house without walls, a congregation without spiritual limits, and a movement that calls you to put more faith in yourself, your community, and your beliefs. We are a faith that honors your mind, your heart, your journey. Simply put, we are a guided path towards a better you and a better world. Grounded in hundreds of years of thoughtful religious communities, we are people of many generations, ethnicities, genders and sexualities, and spiritual backgrounds. People engaged in making the world a better place. People focusing on what really matters: love, justice, integrity, and hope. Unitarian Universalists have different beliefs, but shared values. We are Unitarian Universalists, and at the same time, we may also be agnostic, Buddhist, Christian, Hindu, humanist, Jewish, Muslim, pagan, atheist, believers in God, and those who let the great mystery be. The diversity of beliefs you'll find in a Unitarian Universalist community is one of our strengths. We're always learning how to see the world from a different perspective. What unites us are our core principles that uphold 7 real-world values: believing in the worthiness of every person, showing compassion and fairness, accepting others for who they are, growing through a personal search for truth, leading with democratic spirit, working for justice, and understanding that everything is interconnected. 7 days a week, Unitarian Universalists live these principles by doing. When we gather, we worship, reflect, and remind ourselves what matters most in life. Whatever our age, we learn to live with more wisdom, more awareness, more gratitude, and more soul. We show our values by showing up to answer the call for social justice. We have a track record of siding with love for civil rights, LGBTQ equality, immigration reform, environmental sustainability, reproductive justice, racial justice, and more. Find what it means to live your deepest values out loud. Join us on this extraordinary adventure of faith.
Yeah, I didn't make that. Yeah. And you can go to the next slide now. So in our congregations, like the video said, you may find atheists, agnostics, Buddhist, Christian, humanist, Hindu, Jewish, pagan, the confused, and many more. And although some may see that as way too challenging, and trust me, at times it can be, we see it as our greatest strength. We join in beloved community that strives to honor all of our diversity. Unitarian Universalism is a living tradition, and at the heart of that tradition is simply love. The one common thread that weaves through all that we uphold. And although Unitarianism and Universalism both have origins as liberal Christian traditions, today we embrace diverse teachings from many global religions and philosophies to create the supporting values that uphold our mission of love. These guiding principles aren't by any means exclusive to Unitarian Universalism, nor are they any big secret, right? I often refer to them as simply the golden rules that we were all taught as kids, right, to be good people. And when love is at the center, striving to live these values in our daily lives is much, much easier. We call UU a living tradition because we are not afraid of change. We don't do it often, and it usually comes with great difficulty, but most change does, right? And it's usually worth it. One of my favorite quotes is from the great Maya Angelou that said, "Do your best until you know better, and then do better." Exactly, I knew you would know it. And with a living, breathing, loving tradition, we have the openness to reconsider at times if our tenants are still serving our members well, and in turn, our community and the world. So a couple of years ago, we did just that kind of reflection on our long-standing 7 principles that the video shared, because it is a couple of years old. And what came out of that reflection was a simple but powerful change. We moved from 7 principle statements to 6 values of action. Because it's way, way too easy to just say who you are. What's important is how you show who you are, which is not lost on this group because your commitment to our community is well known. So the new values of action are here in the graphic, if you can see that. It's kind of small, so I'll read it. We start with interconnectedness. We honor the independent web of all existence and acknowledge our place in it. In equity, we declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion. Through generosity, we cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. In justice, we work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all feel welcome and can thrive. Through transformation, we adapt to the changing world. And finally, with pluralism, we acknowledge all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology, all centered on love. These 6 values of action are universal to all UU fellowships and churches around the world. However, on a local level, congregations can be as diverse as its members. More often than not, UU congregations, especially small congregations like ours, are lay-led, meaning that they rely on the energy and the commitment of their members to provide all the functions of the congregation: Sunday services, pastoral care, social justice activities, and all the business needs of the organization. Because of this, each congregation tends to be a reflection of its members and their interests. Here at our UU Fellowship of Bay County, we are a small but active and supportive group. Many of them who are here today. Thank you so much for coming. Like most UUs, we strive to make a positive impact in our community. Through our quarterly Share the Plate offerings, we donate to local charities in need. We support voting rights and voter education through our UU the Vote campaign. We stand with multiple marginalized communities, including the LGBTQ and the NAACP. And we promote environmental practices at our facility and to our members. We cultivate strong personal bonds within our group through fellowship, sharing monthly potluck lunches, game nights, hiking adventures, campfire nights. Together, we grow our spiritual paths and understandings through small group discussions, book clubs, meditation courses, and guest speakers. And maybe, most importantly, we show up for each other, for birthdays, hospital stays, unity presentations, and other important events in our lives. In fact, one common UU practice that happens during Sunday services is called Joys and Concerns. It sounds like you had something somewhat similar here this morning. In many congregations, this sharing is done by a lay leader who reads aloud items submitted before the service, maybe similar to like a prayer list you might find at a more traditional church. But a great advantage of being such a small fellowship like ours is the time and space that we can allow folks to share personally and fully the celebrations or sorrows they are experiencing. To be honest, as someone who has long kept things pretty close to the vest, although I'm trying to be better about that, it took me a long time to recognize just how important this special time really is. I'm often touched by the impact this sharing has on all of us. Whether it gives someone a chance to be heard and listened to for just a moment, which may be the only time that week that happens to them, or the genuine caring or celebration our community pours out to our members after they share. It's an important part of our weekly gathering. As I stated before, love is at the center of it all. Above and beyond the social justice work or the Sunday services or the potlucks, Unitarian Universalism is about creating a space for people to feel connected, to feel accepted and loved. It is a priority for UU, as it should be a priority for us all. And the sharing of joys and concerns is an important way for us to create that space and share that love. I've come to see it as one of the most vital parts of our service, and maybe the most important reflection of who we are as a fellowship. I often say that being a UU is not easy, and some may disagree with that because there's not a lot of rules and there's nobody there telling you what you should do or who you should be, and that may seem easy in the beginning. But what being a Unitarian Universalist requires is self-reflection and personal growth. And if you've ever tried either one of those, you know those are not very easy, right? But what helps is that our community is there for support on that journey. Being a UU is also a responsibility for each of us to be a part of that community who shows up for the others. It demands understanding and compassion for those who think, believe, and live differently, something that America desperately needs more of these days. I am proud to be a Unitarian Universalist. I have learned how to see people for who they really are and honor who they really are. I've grown to know myself and understand myself so much better. I have found partners in justice to stand up together for what is right. And I have learned that I'm not alone, and that there are plenty of good heathens out there. On behalf of our community, we are sincerely grateful for this invitation to share Unitarian Universalism and our fellowship with you this morning. Please know that Unity Spiritual Center is always welcome, and that you have a friend in the UU Fellowship of Bay County. Thank you. And now I understand we have a meditation, right, that I'm going to lead to, if you allow me. So if you want to take a second to get comfortable, not too comfortable, right? Get comfortable and relax, feet on the floor. You can close your eyes if you'd like, or if not. We're going to take some deep breaths in through the mouth, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Breathing in and feeling the chest open. Breathing out and feeling the body soften. You can let your breath return to normal. And hear these words of our meditation. I believe in my breath and heartbeat, in the woven, grasping roots of trees. I may not see or hear how things move underneath, but still, I believe. I believe in the slow return to earth, in the simple quintessence of darkness, the necessity of light and heat, in the oneness with water. I believe. Every swallow a prayer, ever waking an answer. Each moment we reach toward safety, an invocation, the simplest act of faith. Because I believe in the power of words, of intention expressed, of gratitude and creation, the unfurling of purposeful language might be a prayer or incantation. Every time I seek out more than what is already there, a prayer, a prayer.
So in this stillness we rest and experience the presence of the divine within each one of us. So I invite you to take a deep breath in. Feel that presence. Be presence to feel the presence of your own being. So we say that no matter the chaos on the outer, when we sit in the stillness of our own being, there's peace, calm, undisturbed peace when we go within. So we give thanks for this awareness today. And then when you're ready, you can wiggle your fingers and toes and move your body. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and be fully present now. So to interrupt taking a minute to interrupt that stillness for just a minute, I want to thank Charissa again for this talk. I know we all loved it, so thank you very much. And also, I felt on in the welcoming to welcome all the UU people here. You guys are friends of most of us, and how long have we been doing the Interfaith Harmony? Yeah, 20 years, I think. Yeah, almost. So, yeah, something like that. So, so again, welcome. We need to do this more often. So, so again, we appreciate you being here, and I know most of the Unity people here would say what you say and what the teachings of the UU are right in line with. These are the 5 principles we have. You have 6 action steps, and that's number 5 there is to take knowing and understanding what we know is not enough. We have to act. We have to take action. And you guys probably do that a little better than we do in some cases. We're trying. No, we do the things that what is ours to do, you do what is yours to do. And we say that collectively and individually. So thank you for all that. So it's now time for generosity consciousness for our offering. So if you feel so inclined to bless us with your offering, your gifts, there's plenty of ways you can give. We're going to pass a basket. You can donate here today, or we have on our website you can give and go right straight to PayPal. This QR code that we have right here can take you to our website and in the YouTube, the PayPal link. So there's lots of ways to give, and we're so gracious. Thankful and great for your gracious giving, so we appreciate it. And so, if you would, let's say our prayer blessing together. It's on the screen, and we can say it together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Now the music team is going to come up and give us another song. Huh?
hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. Lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the door of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine.